Shares in Palo Alto Networks came under pressure today. The third quarter forecast missing expectations. And of course, the software sector in general has been hammered amid fears that artificial intelligence will change the business of software and services radically. Let's get more from Matthew Tuttle, CEO and Chief Investment Officer at Tuttle Capital Management. Matthew, thanks very much for joining us. Maybe we could put up a 5-year chart for Palo Alto. At one stage, I think investors thought, well, they're the industry leader, cybersecurity, the need's only growing. How could you go wrong?
Yeah, and we're big believers in cybersecurity. We like CrowdStrike a lot better than we like Palo Alto. So we run one of our ETFs, MEMY, is our 20 top thematic ideas, and CrowdStrike is one of those names. You know, all of cyber has kind of gotten thrown out with the bathwater in the software sell-off, but we really see cybersecurity as an area that's going to get increased demand from AI, and certainly you're going to need it if quantum fulfills those promises. So, you know, we would definitely be buying CrowdStrike.
Palo Alto and CrowdStrike?
Well, CrowdStrike is our favorite.
Oh, okay.
You know, I do like the cybersecurity area. So Palo Alto, certainly I wouldn't mind buying on weakness, but CrowdStrike is our favorite in this area.
It too is down. Why is that? Why have investors gone cooler on these cybersecurity giants?
Yeah, and it's really what's happening across software. So last year was the AI rising tide lifted all boats in technology. Then all of those names got extended. Now all of a sudden people are realizing, wait, you know, there are companies that are probably going to get helped by AI, but then there are companies that are going to get crushed. And the initial reaction was sell everything in software. So that's why cybersecurity, Palo Alto, CrowdStrike, you know, all of those names sold off. We think this is an opportunity. We'd be buying some of those names, but then some we would definitely be avoiding.
Let's get into those. DocuSign, you're not keen on that one. It was a darling during the pandemic.
DocuSign is a lifesaver for me today, but it's one of those stocks that I think once agentic AI fully comes online, it's going to be very easy for them to integrate what DocuSign brings to the table into that workflow. So that would be a name that I would not want to own here.
Right. So you basically feel it can be automated by AI?
Yeah, I mean, you know, there are some companies that have sold off in this because of the AI fear that I think is warranted. You know, DocuSign is definitely one of them.
What about Monday.com, MNDY on NASDAQ? Again, you're not too keen on that one.
No, I mean, you know, anything that's got, you know, some sort of workflow app to it that agentic AI could fairly easily incorporate, we would be avoiding those names. We do think those are names that are likely to get hurt as AI and agentic AI comes more on board. So we would be avoiding those as well.
And then finally, EPAM, a stock I'm not familiar with, symbol is EPAM. Can you remind us what they do and why you're less keen on this one as well?
Yeah, I mean, so anything IT services, outsourcing, that's something I definitely would avoid. So that includes an EPAM. You know, and I see that every day. You know, we do have an outsourced IT provider for our company. I'm increasingly using AI more and more for basically doing our IT work. And I can foresee, and hopefully they're not listening, a time where we replace them with AI. So, you know, anything outsourced IT, anything outsourcing, I think AI and agentic AI can take that over.
Talk to us about Snowflake, SNOW. You feel that they're less vulnerable. Why is that?
I feel that they're less vulnerable. So, you know, we kind of spread this out. You know, what are the toll booth companies? The companies that live somewhere along the chain of agentic AI, where, how things are going to happen. Snowflake, it's not a company that we own personally in client portfolios or in our ETFs, but I certainly would not be averse to buying the dip here. We think they are one of the AI toll booth companies.
What about the giants such as Microsoft? I don't know if that's a stock you cover, or MSFT.
Oh, yeah. So no, one of our ETFs is MAGO. It's the Mag 7. I think the Mag 7, if you look at all of the themes, and we teach people this in thematic investing, the Mag 7, one or more of those companies are the obvious winners in a lot of this. Microsoft is a behemoth. Anytime you can get Microsoft on a dip, I would be buying Microsoft.
Right, stock down a lot this year. Would you be putting new money into it then?
I would be putting new money into Microsoft, and really, we look at whenever people tell you the Mag 7 is dead and it's going to be the other 493 companies in the S&P, that's when I want to buy the Mag 7.
Okay. Maximum pessimism. Thank you very much, Matthew. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Matthew Tuttle, CEO and Chief Investment Officer at Tuttle Capital and Management.